contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects. For more information, visit kingcounty.gov.
The beat of the Fox with nastiness is back on K Fox Night Beat.
Yo, what's the deal? It's the legendary Hall of Fame DJ Mixmaster Ice from UTFO.
What's up? Who you thought this is? This is Sir Mix-a-Lot.
And this is Terry Lewis.
And I'm Grand Mixer GMS.
What's up, y'all? This is DJ Third Degree.
This is JJ Hudson from the High Children family.
Sunday nights from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's K-Fox Night Beat with DJ Nastiness.
Bringing back the memories.
Bringing back the memories.
Bringing Seattle's hottest music.
Bringing Seattle's hottest music. Rainier Avenue Radio .world.
That's my Pinoy.
Peace. Welcome to the Fitness Corner. I'm your host, Mark Bryant, and you're going to get a whole total body workout on my show, starting off with a warm-up, aerobics, strength training, cool down, and stretching every Friday from 11:30 to 12 right here on Rainier Avenue Radio.
Generational wealth. Generational wealth. Generational wealth. What is generational wealth? We asked our communities, and this is what they had to say.
We see lots of people who've gotten rich quickly and gotten poor just as quickly and left nothing to their families and or the community. That's a big chunk of the piece that needs to change. We need to see people making their investment in their families and in themselves and in the community. We want to build all three of those elements. We want to establish long-lasting family and community wealth, not just people who've gotten rich and squandered it. Those who have wealth will be opposed to our breaking the status quo, so this will be a struggle. All those folks are used to how things have been for hundreds of years, and that's the piece that needs to change, and they need to be able to stand by.
This campaign to create awareness to generational wealth is brought to you by the Department of Neighborhood's Generational Wealth Initiative, the Washington Housing Finance Commission, and Rainier Avenue Radio .world.
Rainier Avenue Radio. Rainier Avenue Radio.
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to another episode of Real Estate and Money, where we talk about everything that's real estate and money. And we have our two hosts today, and my name is Tina Lombard, and I am with Bank of England Mortgage.
And from Coldwell Banker Danforth, I'm Violeta Strash. Okay, we just had some extreme stormy weather lately around here, but I remember those days like behind me where we've had rain and umbrellas and puddles and jumping around.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna be doing that these days.
Is it raining a lot out there right now?
Not right now, but it has. We've had some rain in the past few days. So just a reminder for everyone, please make sure you clear your gutters out, because if you're selling your house, clean gutters, and downspouts are a good thing.
Right.
Then if you're out on the road, like we're out on the road as salespeople, you need to make sure you got gas, your tires are good, your wipers are working well. You don't want to be stuck out there running around your car trying to fix these things in the rain, right?
No. Well, I have my car in the shop right now. I've got the car in the shop right now. So I just said, because I know winter's coming, and I have some few maintenance things to take care of. So I'm doing that. It's perfect. It's currently 74 degrees here in Colorado. Sunny, and I got a tan sitting out on my deck today. So.
And then you guys had snow.
We had snow. Of course we did. Yes, we'll probably have snow again next couple of days. But in general, December, January, February, March is snow driven. So everything you're saying right now is going to pertain to us, and if not a few days, next week or something. So yes, we need to make sure that our cars are all maintained and our houses.
Yes, the time has the clock moved back an hour, and still kind of getting acclimated to that.
I don't even know what's going on. I thought they voted to not do that anymore. I'm not sure what is going on.
I don't know, but I was supposed to be showing homes on Monday morning, and I was at someone's house an hour early.
Oh dear. Oh wow.
They were just getting in the shower.
That's funny. Yeah, some people should never move their phones. Well, that's crazy. Well, really quick here before we get going, we want to tell you exactly what type of a show we have today. First, we're going to be talking about the current trends. Violeta is going to give you her market update. I'm going to give you a market update with mortgages, and then we're going to bring on Randy Russo a little bit later on, and he's going to talk to us about appraisals and appraisers. And so it's one of the great mysteries of the mortgage industry. He's going to debunk a lot of our myths, and he's going to tell us exactly what appraisals are, what we should expect, and all the ins and outs of the appraisal business. So so V,
Here, yes, let me get through my market update real quick. So here we go for King County. What happened to my King County? Okay, let me start with Pierce County while I'm looking for King County. We had active listings, 141 last week, 71 went pending, 136 sold at an average price of $683,000. Last year was 592, so a little bit better than last year. But we're still looking at 100% of the list price right now, compared to last year at 102.4%. And then days on the market for October, we're looking at 17 days last year. Now we're almost double that at 32. Showings per listing, 9 showings last October and 6 showings in October of this year. And then showings to get to pending, we're looking at 15 versus 14 this year. So there you have it for Pierce County. Now I found King County. Going back to what's happening in this market, this county, we're looking at 262 active listings, 194 pending last week, and sold 314 at an average price of $1,188,000 compared to $1,051,000 last year. October days on the market last year, we had 14 days on the market versus 25 this October. And the percent of the list price last year was 105.5%. And now again, we're at an even 100%. Showings per listing, 14 last October versus 9 this year. And then showings to get to pending, 16 showings and 14 this October in King County. And then here we go into Snohomish County. Active listings last week, we had 120 homes went active. 84 went pending, 120 sold at an average price of $748,000, comparing to last year at the same time, $756,000. Days on the market, 17. And again, we're doubling up days on the market from year to year. This October, we had 32 days on the market for your homes that are out there being listed. Oh, sorry. And then percent of the list price, 102.5 versus again 100%. So we're pricing them right, or it's just going for what people are asking for. And showings per listing, 9 showings per listing last October. This year, 6 showings per listing. Showings to get to pending, we are looking at 10 this year and 11 last year. So there you have it for our market update for our 3 major counties here in Washington State.
That's awesome. So let me tell you a little bit about the mortgage rates. Let's give you a quick mortgage update. So mortgage interest rates right now, if you look at this, it says that we have a 30-year mortgage rate drop. For the last 4 days in a row, it has dropped, and it has sunk to a 5-week low. Now, I don't know if that's too exciting or not, because the 5-week low is 7.82%, if you zoom in that. So I don't know how exciting that was. So, the rates, have you seen here? I don't even have to use my hand. They went all the way up to a high of 8.45. Now I'll say that again, 8.45. And I bought my first house about 30 something years ago, I think my interest rate was 8.5. It was an adjustable rate. So that's something that we haven't seen in years, decades.
Yep.
And it's sunk to a low of 7.825. So it looks like it's going in the right direction. It has broken that upward trend. It's now going up and then So maybe in the springtime or after December, after January, things will start looking normal again. So if you scroll down just a little bit there, Daniel, the 30-year fix has an average new price of 7.82. This is the national average, a refinance of 8.05. The 30-year fixed FHA rate is at 7.46. Now, usually FHA or even VA is quite a bit lower than conventional. And as you can see here, it's not so much of a difference as far as interest rate. The last couple of months, we've seen a big spread between FHA and VA and conventional. But now it looks like things are starting to tie up or get a little bit closer here. The jumbo 30-year fix is at 7.06. Now, you'll see here the jumbo actually is lower than the 30-year fixed. A lot of people, Violeta, they have fears that the jumbo rates, if they have a house or a loan over $1 million, that the rates are going to be so much higher. Well, this is kind of a strange little point in history. That jumbo rate, 7.06, is actually lower than the 30-year fixed. The 15-year fix is at 7.06. I mean, we're not really recommending it. And if interest rates are going to go low, there's no sense of getting a 30-year, but 15-year fix. So I don't know. With the 15-year fix, they're going to qualify you on a 15-year payment, which is sometimes double of a 30-year payment because it is half the time. So 30-year fix will get you qualified. Don't worry so much about getting a better rate of 7.06. A 5-1 ARM is at 7.65. I don't know. ARMs are something that we don't really sell right now. It's kind of like, the interest rates are going high and you got an ARM. I mean, it may be advantageous, but as you can see here, it's not too much of a difference between a 30-year fixed or 5-1 ARM. So if interest rates should continue to go up to 8, 9, heaven forbid, 10%, you get that 7.65 and it's going to move. So anyways, that's what's going on in the market today. It is lower. It's not too much lower, but still, if you bought a house today, Violeta, and the prices and the rates continue to go downward, there's going to be more people on the market, more people qualifying for loans in your same price range. So the property values, and we'll talk to Randy about this later, the property values might start going up because there's more people in the market making overbids on the purchase prices. So if you can buy a house right now, even at that ugly rate or not so pretty rate, I think you're going to be the better for it come spring if the interest rates should start going down. So anyways, that is it with my mortgage update. Still, if you want to look at a house, if you want to get pre-qualified, if you want to sell your house, you don't know what the payments are going to be, you don't know what the rate is going to be, give me and Violeta a call. She can get you out there looking at some houses in your price range, and I can tell you what your price range is, and how much the payments are, how much you qualify for. So we're a dual team here.
Yep.
Tina. So, but yeah, so it is an exciting time. We have seen a lot of people. I've seen a lot more applications. I've been seeing people buy investment properties, hand over fist, buy investment properties, much more so than residential properties or people buying their own primary residence. So, but, it's starting to get a little bit active. Yes.
Yeah, amazing.
So without any further ado, we want to bring in my good friend, Randy Russo. And Randy actually is a real estate appraiser. He's also a real estate agent. So he knows both sides of the coin here when he goes in and does his appraisal. So let's bring on Randy.
Hello. How you doing?
Hi, Randy. How are you?
Hi, Randy.
Nice to see you. Sorry about the rain, Violeta.
Well, I don't know what to say about your sun and snow over there. So
Snow comes and goes. I'm a skier, so I love the snow as long as it's up in the mountains. So.
Okay, so it's good for you.
It is.
All right.
So yeah. So anyways, Randy actually is from Russo, is a real estate appraisers, and he's been owning his business for quite some time. Randy, tell us a little bit about yourself, what got you into the business, and how long you've been an appraiser.
Well, I started out in college, and that didn't work out, so I learned how to build homes and moved to Chicago and learned about the remodeling business, started my own business in my early 20s, did that for 17 years. And then I met a lady at a Thanksgiving party bragging about how busy her son was as an appraiser. I was like, what's an appraisal? So it took me 7 phone calls to get this guy to meet me for coffee.
Okay.
And I said, what do I have to do to become an appraiser? And he said, go to school, 75 hours, pass the state exam. And I knocked on his door one day. I said, I'm ready to go. He was shocked. He couldn't believe that I did. So I've been appraising homes for 22 plus years, probably have done over 7,000 residential appraisals in that time. And I got my real estate license shortly after I got my appraiser's license because I wanted to help friends, family, whatever, get into houses. So I've seen both sides, like you said, both sides of the coin over the past couple of decades. and it's been interesting. It's been a roller coaster ride for sure.
That's great. That's great. Yeah. So really quick, before we get too much further, I know before you didn't know what an appraiser was. What is an appraisal? Is it an inspection? What is an appraisal?
I will read you the technical definition that I found today, which is appropriate. It's appraisal is an unbiased estimate of what a buyer might expect to pay or a seller receives for a parcel of real estate, where both buyer and seller are fully informed parties. Well, that's not always the case, but it's basically an opinion of value based on factual data that's gathered from the site, from the market, and from, neighborhood that it's actually located in. And it's, it's an opinion of value based on fact.
Okay. So when somebody goes to buy a house, there's the inspection and then there's the appraisal. And quite too often I have clients say, well, I got the inspection, I need an appraisal. So could you tell us the difference between an inspection and an appraisal report?
Well, an inspection is more thorough. I mean, I do a lot of VA and FHA appraisals where I have to look in the attic, head and shoulders kind of inspection. I look for repairs around the house, missing downspouts, missing cover plates, which are health and safety issues. An inspector knows how to inspect the electrical panel. He actually goes up into the attic and looks for issues, uses a drone to, check out the roof. They're more involved in the actual functioning of a property, where I am looking for value and what affects value. Updates, repairs, like I talked about, are a big thing. And that's where the similarities are sometimes, people say, hey, I had an inspection. I'm like, well, the inspector missed a broken, cover plate, and your kid's going to stick his finger in there and get electrocuted. So there's some similarities, some crossover, but
yeah,
I stay in my lane.
Okay. So really quick. So as far as the inspection is concerned, I always tell my clients the inspection's on your side is on the real estate side. We don't care, and we actually do not want to see the inspection. We don't care.
Right.
But as the appraisal actually is what the lender uses, we need to use that to make sure that if you're buying a $900,000 home, the house isn't only worth $700,000. So we want to make sure that our property or your property is protected. So that's the difference there. So really quick, a lot of buyers, I don't know, Violeta, if you get this too. A lot of the buyers, they say, hey, I want to meet the appraiser. I want to make sure they look at everything, and I want to point out everything, and even with refinances. So what do you say about that, Randy?
No, they can't. No. In fact, I have buyers recently that I'm working with, clients that wanted to be there. I'm like, no, you can't. Well, the agent's going to give him a lockbox and let him in. The appraiser's going to go in and do his thing. I always talk to the seller of the home, if I'm doing a refinance, because they have firsthand information. When was the water heater changed? How old is the roof? When did you change the cabinets? Because obviously these aren't builder-grade cabinets. That kind of information is invaluable. And, it's always nice to have either email, or handwritten, whatever documents to help me establish what is newer in the home so I can compare it to others in the neighborhood and in the market.
Yeah. So really quick though, I'm glad you brought that up. A lot of times, the clients say, hey, my house is worth 1.2 million. And, and then the appraiser's like, no, it's more worth like 750,000, so a lot of times it's a lot of times when listing agents, they go out and they meet a seller, they say, hey, what do you think? And they're like, oh, I think it should be 1.1 million. Of course, the buyer comes, they try to buy the house, and the appraiser's like, no, it's only worth 750,000. So what can a person do if they do have a loan and the appraisal comes in a lot lower than the purchase price?
They can challenge it through their lender. If you can send reasonable comparables into the lender, and they will send them to me. There's a direct path that has to be taken, a legal path, and I'll review them. For VA, it's called Tidewater. If I'm actually seeing an issue with comparables sales versus the contract price, I notify the lender legally that I'm declaring Tidewater, and they have 2 business days to provide me with up to, I take 6 comparables, but I only have to accept 3, but I'm like, give me 6 reasonable. If it's a ranch, try to give me ranches. If there aren't any, give me something that's close in square footage. So, it's you can challenge it, and I've made mistakes. I'm human. I'm here to admit that, but I'm an exhaustive, thorough investigator, and I try to find everything, but sometimes you miss it. So.
Yeah, well, I get a lot. I just had a realtor today in Texas, Austin, Texas, and she was debating whether she should take my client's offer or not on a VA loan. And she's like, well, have the VA appraisals came in a lot lower, but what is your take on VA appraisals? I'm like, an appraisal is an appraisal is an appraisal. So if it's conventional FHA, whatever, the house is worth 800,000, it's worth 800,000. But I may be wrong. What do you have to say about that when people say, hey, is a VA appraisal different than a conventional appraisal?
Not at all. In fact, I've created an appraisal class recently in the past few months, and I'm educating people on appraisal inspections. And everybody thinks, well, we'll go conventional. We don't have to fix anything. Well, the first line in Fannie Mae says health and safety issues, and it goes through FHA, VA, Freddie, all the way through health and safety. So if you have a 2-inch rise in the concrete up to the front of your house, that's a trip hazard. It doesn't matter what financing you use. And like you said, an appraisal is an appraisal. I don't look at that. I'm unbiased. I don't even, look at the financing. I do look at the contract. And sometimes you're looking at it going, wow, okay, they're dreaming, or maybe it's possible. Because, with time adjustments, things change. And, and we've seen that in the past, 6 months, where I've seen the market rebound, the reverse bell curve. Things sunk over the first 6 months, and now they're recovering and going actually higher than they were 12 months ago in certain micro markets.
Right. So Violeta, have you ever heard of the term Tidewater?
No, I have not.
Okay. So lenders know what Tidewater means. But Randy, could you explain it to VA and other realtors out there what Tidewater means?
So Tidewater is something I declare on a VA appraisal if my analysis is not going to show the contract price is supported. So then I notify the lender via email and a phone call. I'm persistent, making sure they know what's going on, and just say, hey, I'm declaring Tidewater, and you have 2 business days for the agents to come up with reasonable, supportive comparables.
And so a lot of times, if it's FHA or VA, and let's say they're $5,000 short or $10,000, a lot of times the sellers will say, hey, listen, the appraisal is what it is. We're going to have to lower it. So they lower the purchase price.
Right.
So a lot of times it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing.
No, it's not. And, and I try to do, as honest of a job as possible. And it is an estimate of value. If you have something at like 780 and something at 820 and your purchase price is in between there, it's worth that, because you've got a range of value of, $20,000, $30,000. But if it's 750, and the contract price is 820, then you're like, well, I'm sorry, I can't make things up.
Yeah. So
you make it a habit to call other recently sold properties. You call the agents, say, what did you actually, before it even had sold, maybe it's in the pending status. Do you call and say, hey, I see that you're pending. What is that house going to go for?
Yeah, I try. Sometimes they don't give me that information, but I'm exhaustive that way. I look at all the pictures in the MLS. I try to compare apples to apples, and if I can get them on the phone saying, hey, I see that you say the kitchen's updated. Talk to me about that. And they're like, well, they painted the existing oak cabinets. I'm like, okay, so decorated, not renovated.
Right.
Somebody's got brand new, soft close cabinets, and that's the norm for the neighborhood. And this house has, the 1978 cabinets that are beautifully painted, but it's not the same thing. So
right.
I try to exhaust, every avenue possible.
Well, tell us really quick, because a lot of times clients say, hey, I'm going to build in a new bathroom before I sell it, because that's going to give me more value. I'm going to put a wall in here. I'm going to split this room into 2 rooms. What type of things do or do not really affect the value?
I think, you've got to curb appeal, first of all, right off the bat. If your driveway is cracked and ruined and a health hazard right out the gate, that can be a problem. Exterior paint, downspout extensions, you want to make sure the house is not going to deteriorate. And then, of course, kitchens, master bath, those are the primary, remodeling things that will bring value. Unfortunately, things like furnaces and water heaters and roof, it's maintenance. You got to do it. And people don't want to hear that. Why put a new furnace in? I'm like, you needed to. It was 25 years old. It's
wow. So really quick though. So lenders need appraisals when people buy or sell a home. But what other types of entities order an appraisal?
I've got real estate agents that can run into an oddball, or if they've had an addition to the house, they want to verify the square footage, and they want to know what that extra. Now it's 200 or 300 square feet bigger. So they want to know what the listing price should be. I've got attorneys that call me for divorce appraisals, for the date of death appraisals. I'm working for a lady right now who lost her husband unfortunately, in July, and he had 8 properties. So I have to go back to July 8th, I believe it was, and value the properties as of the date that he died. So that's really interesting and challenging work. So I've got, attorneys, agents, homeowners sometimes to say, hey, I'm thinking of selling my house. Can you give me an idea of what can it sell for? So
you ever get this, I just put in another bathroom and 2 more bedrooms. I added those to my house. Can you tell me what the actual, now I want to sell it. So can you tell me what the actual square footage is? And
Absolutely.
This person, did not get permits.
Yeah, I just ran into that with a property in Arvada where they fixed up the attic, and then they had a shed in the backyard, and now they're calling it an ADU, but they didn't pull any permits. And it's a cute little shed. It's got a kitchenette. It's got a shower under the stairs. As long as you don't stand up too fast off the toilet, you won't hit your head. And it's got an upstairs bedroom, and but there's no permit.
What do you say? Yeah.
How do I give it value? I mean,
okay,
it's a challenge. I haven't written that one yet, and it's a good friend of mine who's an agent, and he said, hey, can you check it out? I'm like, we're both scratching our heads going, there's nothing like it in Arvada. So I might have to travel further and try to find something, and then do a location adjustment based on that. But that's one of the more challenging ones I've had in a while. So,
well, I know here we have a large Filipino community in Seattle, and I know a lot of Filipino clients, including my mother, added on like 4 bedrooms and stuff, all not permitted. None of them. She had a son, no permits on anything, and that's kind of common. A lot of times the homeowners they don't know that you have to file for a permit.
Yeah, and they're going. It's now worth $1.5 million because I added 4 bedrooms.
Of course.
Yeah.
And the challenge can be if the county comes in, like in Douglas County, if you don't have a permit and they find out about it, they can come in and make you open up walls and look at the electrical and look at the plumbing.
Oh, wow.
So now your beautiful carpet and drywall and everything else is torn up. So it pays to do a permit, even though it's a hassle. But the other thing that I was taught many years ago by my instructor, Pat Armbrust, I'll give him a little plug right there. It's how does the market accept it? Like an unfinished, an unpermitted basement is still a finished basement. Somebody's going to walk in and go, hey, I'm going to buy this house because the basement's finished. But, they're not going to buy one that doesn't have, because they don't want to be moving in doing a bunch of things, regardless of permit or not. But I disclose, if it's not permitted, I disclose it and just make a comment, that, hey, the basement's finished professionally like the rest of the house. It just wasn't, there were no permits pulled.
Okay. Yeah, it's not because it's common. I know Washington State, people convert the garage into a rec room.
Yes.
Very common. Very common. And then, time to, sell the house and you got nothing. But real quick, Randy, what is your phone number so people can get in contact with you?
It's 303-929-3461.
Great. Say that one more time for us, Randy.
Yes, it's 303-929-3461.
Great. Thank you. And they can just give you a call and ask if an appraisal is necessary, and you can help them out.
Anytime. And like I said, I've created an appraisal class. I'm going to submit it to the state and try to get it. I'm going to get it certified for CE so I can travel the state and teach and educate and share what I've learned over the past couple of decades. So it's, there's a lot out there.
Yes. So Randy, we're going to try and get him in my office over here. As soon as he gets the class up, we're going to have an appraisal class at my office. Bank of England Mortgage. Yep.
Absolutely.
Anyways, well, gosh, thank you so much, Randy. We have to get to our announcements really quick, but we want you to come back, and please, if we can send any clients your way, we definitely will.
Absolutely, and I'll do the same. So
okay,
thank you,
thank you, Randy.
All right,
bye.
Yes. So that's great. There's a lot more to appraisals and appraisers than we can ever, that we can ever think. But it's something that we definitely have to use in every transaction. So we might as well learn it. But so let me see. Find out about who won this year's elections live on Rainier Avenue Radio tonight at 7 p.m. with the Rainier Avenue Radio Election Results Show, hosted by Juan Cato and John Yakasaki, featuring several important guests from the local political scene. So you don't want to miss that today. And also the WIAA 3A high school football team playoffs round of 16 are this Friday at 5 p.m. live with play-by-play on Rainier Avenue Radio, broadcasting the Auburn Riverside at O'Day game. That's going to be very excited. Very excited.
Right. Wow.
Yeah. Great. Well,
So
thanks for
we
joining
out of
us.
time? Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us here at Real Estate and Money on Rainier Avenue Radio.world. I'm
Yes.
Violeta Strash with Coldwell Banker Danforth.
And I'm Tina Lombard with Bank of England Mortgage. We'll see you next time.
Okay, bye-bye.